Hello, Purple Heart Consciousness holders. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby. I'm so happy to be with you today. Today is a very special day. And the reason I like this day especially is because we get an opportunity to really engage in spiritual practice. And there are some parts of spiritual practice we do not realize the importance of it. But today we get a chance to just deepen in our understanding and our awareness about this spiritual practice. Again, we are celebrating a season for nonviolence with the Season for Peace program. This is sponsored through the Purple Heart app. And in this sponsoring, we choose to, in my course of celebrating this season, I would be remiss if I did not include forgiveness in this whole process, because forgiveness is the mending and the bringing together and the unifying of good. That's the essence of forgiveness. It is not about, I'm going to forgive you and things are going to be hunky dory. We can go back to the way things were. There's never ever going back to the way things were. It is about moving forward and moving forward in a place of wholeness. So, this is a very important part in our understanding and the evolution of our growth. So, forgiveness is breaking cycles, breaking patterns. And Gerald Jampolsky says it perfectly when he says the result of forgiveness is the stopping of the cycle of anger within ourselves and the world. Peace will come to the world when each of us take the responsibility of forgiving everyone, including ourselves completely. And of course, Gandhi reminds us that the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong, and I totally agree with that. Weakness is a representation of that temporal part of ourselves. And I want you to hear temporal part of ourselves. It's an undeveloped thought, an undeveloped awareness that holds us back from our good. So today, I'm inviting you to join me in moving into that space of forgiveness. And I'll share with you along the way. What I have learned is that if we dedicate ourselves to spiritual practice, these spiritual practices will bless us. Many years ago, I had a hurt and a harm, and it felt like it took place outside of myself. It felt like the world was against me. That's a temporal thought. It is a temporary passing thought, and it is an undeveloped thought. But because of my willingness to stick and stay in the place of forgiveness, I developed this affirmation. And it is an affirmation I use to this day. I live in this of forgiveness. And I'm going to invite you to utilize this thought today. And with that in mind, it is my honor to pray with you today. So let us just turn within. And as we turn within, I'm inviting you to just simply release anything it took to get to this very moment. I'm inviting you to release the small things, and I'm inviting you to release the big things, all that's happening in the world right now. And I'm inviting you to move into the space of the heart. As we move into heart focused breathing, and as we're moving into that space of heart focused breathing, I'm just inviting you to anchor in the space of unconditional love. And as we move into this space of unconditional love, we just simply remember that there is a part of us that has never ever been hurt, harmed, or disturbed. And that this divine presence and power that abides within nature is a power that abides within us, that it knows what to do and how to do it in its own perfect way. That divine power and presence supports and is anchored in good and is forever fulfilling itself as infinite good. So we simply breathe right now, releasing any sense of angst, the need to make something happen or to just force anything upon ourselves, upon life, and simply know that if God be for us, then who or what can be against us? No thing. And in this awareness right here, right now, I'm acknowledging that divine power of good that is alive, thriving, and fulfilling itself within me, through me, and as me. And I know that that same power is the power that is abiding within every single person that is hearing this prayer, that is engaged in this prayer. And I know that this divine power is that perfect good that uplifts, it inspires, and it fulfills itself in a grand manner. And what I'm knowing is right here, right now, that the spirit of light and that spirit of peace and harmony is the only power that abides, and it is the power that is forever giving of itself, releasing and fulfilling itself, its highest and greatest good. That there is a freedom in this space of forgiveness. So, in this space of peace, right here, right now, I'm acknowledging something far greater than we have ever experienced before. But I know that in the far greater, that there is a greater peace and harmony, that the wisdom of spirit fulfills itself and it anchors itself in a practical way right now. So, what I know is every single person that is hearing this prayer, that they are blessed beyond that which they cannot even imagine, that the spirit of wholeness resides within their body temple, that there is perfect health, and that health fulfills itself physically, mentally, and emotionally within our bodies of the bodies of the bodies, that it fulfills itself within every relationship, that it fulfills itself and reveals itself as divine prosperity and abundance, and that abundance fulfills itself with every need met. I know that it reveals itself within our finances and that our good continues to expand and grow. And what I'm knowing is that that divine presence that I speak of right now does not take away from anyone or anything. It only enhances and supports the highest and greatest good. For I know that the gift of spirit is always alive, thriving, and revealing itself and expressing itself. And I know that it brings peace and harmony. So I'm so grateful this day just to acknowledge the power of forgiveness, the grace of it expanding itself and revealing itself, releasing old patterns and old ways of thinking, and embracing the truth of being, growing and evolving in its highest and greatest expression. So, what I'm knowing is that this shows up right now in our personal lives. It shows up as a collective, it shows up in the world, and it fulfills itself in practical ways. So, I simply give thanks for this sacred blessing and I release it into that divine and sacred yes. And we affirm by simply saying, and so it is. Amen. Ashe and Aho. We simply know these words have power. I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to look into your eyes. And I'm going to thank you, first of all, for this opportunity to just simply pray with you. And I'm thanking you for your ears to hear. And as we move forward, I'm going to invite you to, if you need prayer, and this is an area that we're constantly working in, I'm going to invite you to just utilize the prayer app if you have it. If not, I'm inviting you to download it in your app store and send us in a prayer. We are here ready to pray with you about everything that is unfolding within your life and is unfolding in your experience. Know that we love you and we appreciate you, and I'm inviting you to join us tomorrow morning at 7:30. You can join us in our Zoom room. Go to our website and you'll get the information, or you can join us in our on our Facebook page, and we will continue our conversation about a season of peace and all the elements of nonviolence. I love and appreciate you. Thank you. Namaste.